This is a video just shows you how to switch over to the kit initially using long press info, and then get your phone paired up with the Carplay kit. So first thing, obviously make sure you are on source aux. So if you've not gone to source aux, make sure it is selected, and then long press info. Press this for about 2-3 seconds and then the system will switch over. Obviously to switch back you can press the exit button, or you can long press info again. So that's the switching backwards and forwards to the kit. You need to, again, appreciate you need to be on source aux to hear anything from the Carplay kit or any of the other features in the kit. Okay, let's pair a phone. So we go into Carplay. We go into connect mobile device. We make sure on our iPhone that it is on the Bluetooth screen and it's alive and waiting for a connection. We then do a start search. It should find the iPhone, which we connect. We press on the IAP2 profile. We wait. We will get a pair request, which we will pair. It will allow us to do the contacts. Give it a few seconds, and then we'll get use Carplay, which we'll do. And then you'll see the Carplay icon appearing in the corner of the screen, and Carplay will start. Now, just appreciate that as soon as Carplay is started, the Bluetooth connection from the kit will be disconnected, and this is normal operation for Carplay. It's an Apple standard. Carplay is used to do the initial negotiation of the secure Wi-Fi key. Then as soon as Carplay starts, the Bluetooth gets disconnected and Carplay switches to Wi-Fi. I can get back to the kit screen with the home button, and you'll see you can switch back to Carplay from here just by pressing the little Carplay button. So essentially that is the Carplay kit paired now. If you want to completely delete the Carplay connection from your phone and from the kit, you go into Carplay here, you do paired devices, you click on the little X and it will delete from here, and you do the same from your phone in the Bluetooth screen. You click on the little line, you do forget. Now, appreciate with this kit, currently when you get into the car, this kit will try to connect Bluetooth to your phone and connect to Carplay once automatically. Now what we've seen, and it's something that we've asked the manufacturer to change, we're just waiting for an amendment on this, is to make the kit try multiple times. So what we've seen with some customers is they say they get in the car, it doesn't connect to Bluetooth and it doesn't connect to Carplay. And this is because the Carplay kit has tried once, not seen the phone and given up. Particularly it happens if the phone is like partially out of range. So for instance, you unlock the car and you perhaps put stuff in the car. The phone's in range but not in range enough to establish a connection. So you'll get a situation where Carplay icon is not available up here and the Bluetooth has not started. Both are not available. So to deal with that, you just go into Carplay, you would just go to paired devices, you'd see the iPhone hit there disconnected, but a little Carplay icon will be there. You just click on the phone, it will connect to Bluetooth and Carplay will start. So I hope that makes sense. This video talks through setting your reverse camera up from the kit. So the reverse camera settings are in setup, they're under reverse. Now if you have an OEM camera set up, the only settings you need as OEM camera or parking sensors, the only two settings or perhaps three settings you need to worry about are the reverse camera setting to original and the parking mode. Now for parking mode we would set at park button if you have no parking sensors at all and no reverse camera, or you have front and rear parking sensors or 3D surround view. Otherwise, if you've just got the rear camera and the rear sensors, or all the rear sensors, set it to gear R. Let's just change this to gear R status. So there is another setting called reverse cam status. You needn't worry about that for Porsche, it's not implemented. So if you've just got rear parking sensors or an OEM camera, set it to gear R status. So I'll put this back to park button, just go back to the top. Now if you are running an aftermarket camera, obviously switch this to aftermarket camera. You needn't worry about reverse line detect because that's not implemented in this version. If you want the grid lines to show, then switch that on, and if you want the reverse parking sensor, or actually it's just a parking sensor overlay switched on, switch that on as well. Also, if you have implemented the front camera, this just controls how much time occurs before it switches back from pressing the camera icon on the first screen to the general system screen. So if I was here, at the moment it's set to 0, so if I press camera, it will stay on camera until I press the screen again. If you set a timing in there, it will only stay on that screen for however many seconds you set it for. Now the only other setting that is useful from a reverse camera or 360 view option is this 360 key. Now for cars that have 360 view, which is predominantly the larger cars, the Macan, the Cayenne, the Panamera, if you set the steering wheel diamond button, or have set it in OEM mode, which a lot of customers do, so they set that diamond button to switch to the 360 view, because it's quite handy just to make the view appear when you're not close to an object. If you have set that and you still want that button to function as a switch out of CarPlay into the camera view, you set that 360 key to on. It has no other function other than that, so it's of no value to anyone who doesn't have the 360 degree surround view fitted to their cars. That is it for reverse camera options. This video talks through some of the various sound options that we recommend you set for use with the kit, both in the kit and out of the kit. So the first one is that on the PCM, every source has a separate sound setting, and a lot of customers don't realise that this is the case. So we'd recommend when you're on source aux that you go into sound and you ensure that the various options for bass, treble, etc., and particularly if you've got Bose, surround aux is on or off as you particularly like it. As I said, most customers, or a lot of customers, don't realise that these settings are set individually per PCM source. On top of that, we recommend you go and change what's called the media options. So go back to source aux using the media key, I press option, and I do set media aux. Now for using the kit, aux needs to be on, aux Bluetooth needs to be off, and the reason aux Bluetooth needs to be off, so that's Bluetooth streaming or music streaming needs to be off, is because if it's on, the iPhone gets a choice between whether it streams music to CarPlay or music to this Bluetooth source, depending on which it sees first. So if you leave it on, you can get a situation where actually you don't get any volume from CarPlay because the phone has decided to use the Bluetooth streaming source because it saw that last when the phones were connected. So we recommend switch off aux Bluetooth, make sure aux is on. Also on the volume adaptation, for volume aux we recommend setting it to +6. This is to try and balance up the volume level on the base PCM versus the kit. So those are the general settings for the PCM itself. And then if we go into info, long press it, go into the kit, we'd recommend for the kit from setup, going into audio, going into EQ, and we tend to set all of the EQ settings on a custom. We tend to set them all at +6. You can adjust them, obviously, the individual frequencies up and down as best suits your need. But we find that on about 6 or possibly 8, That means that the volume level within the kit broadly matches the volume levels on the various other PCM sources. We don't know why Porsche did it, but historically the volume levels on the aux source on the PCM have always historically been low in comparison to the other PCM sources. But changing the set audio options outside on the OEM PCM and changing them here in the EQ settings broadly balances that up. So that briefly runs through how we would recommend you set your sound settings on the PCM and the kit for use with CarPlay and Android Auto. I hope that helps. This video talks through our recommendations for setting up your phone and using it with the CarPlay kit. We get quite a lot of questions on use of phone, so I'll run through the various options. Now we do recommend you leave your phone connected Bluetooth to the OEM PCM. There's a number of advantages of doing that, and I'll run through them now. So essentially, if you leave your phone Bluetooth to the OEM PCM, the CarPlay kit will use the car factory mics when you're on a phone call, and obviously those mics are set up explicitly for your car. They're very good mics, the call pickup's good. So that's a distinct advantage. You'll also find that the small instrument cluster display is usable for phone calls, which it won't be if you don't leave your phone Bluetooth to the MPCM. You'll also find, and this is a very useful scenario, that if you are off the CarPlay source and you're listening to the radio perhaps, or you're doing something else in the OEM PCM, if you get an incoming phone call, you'll still be able to hear the third-party caller. Now you need to appreciate when the phone is not Bluetooth to the OEM PCM and it's just connected via CarPlay. CarPlay always needs to be on PCM source aux. So if you did get a phone call, you're connected to CarPlay but you're not on OEM source aux, you can't hear anything from the third-party caller. That's obviously less than ideal. One disadvantage is on the steering wheel controls. If you've got them, you'll find that the call answer button will answer the call and then immediately hang up the call if you've got your phone still Bluetooth to the OEM PCM. And the reason for that is that unfortunately Porsche does not send a unique code from the steering wheel controls for call hang up or call answer. It sends the same code. So what happens is the kit tries to answer the call and the PCM then immediately hangs it up, or vice versa. Now there is a reasonably simple way around that. If you've got the steering wheel controls, when you answer the phone, use this little scroll button here, just click it down. That effectively sends an OK. Then you'll find that the phone call will get answered properly. It doesn't matter for call hang up, because all that happens in that case is you're hanging up the call. It's just a double hang up, and that's fine. But if you do leave your phone Bluetooth to PCM, as we recommend, you'll need to use that right hand OK button rather than the call answer. There's no way around that effect, unfortunately. Also, other setting we recommend, if you leave your phone Bluetooth to the OEM PCM, that you will find you'll need to go into settings, accessibility, touch, and change a setting called call audio routing to Bluetooth headset. If you don't do that, you can find that especially when CarPlay is running, that the third-party caller does not get routed properly through to the speakers in the car. So again, we'd recommend go into settings, accessibility touch, change call audio routing to Bluetooth headset. Now on the contra scenario, if you do not want to leave your phone connected to the OEM Bluetooth on the PCM, you can just leave it not connected. In that case, the kit will use the kit mic. So you need to be aware that the kit mic's placement is much more critical in that scenario than it would be otherwise, because otherwise if it's OEM Bluetooth, it just uses the kit mic for Siri. Placement's not so critical, so you will need to make sure the mic is fairly close to your face, your mouth, so that call pickup is better. And you will potentially need to go into settings, go into audio, and you will see that there is some there's a microphone volume button which you might need to change. You also might need to alter the microphone delay, which controls the third-party echo, and also this also this AEC, which is auto echo cancellation quality. And these can be quite challenging to set in a car, and that's consequently why we recommend trying to avoid using the kit mics if you've got that option. I hope that helps. This video talks through the kit microphone setup. Now, as you've probably seen and heard in one of our other videos, we recommend you leave your phone Bluetooth to the PCM, because in that setup the kit microphone is only used for Siri and Google Assist. But that said, there are still some microphone settings you can change that will improve the pickup on Siri and Google Assist. So if we go into setup and we go into audio and we scroll down and bring up all the microphone settings. Now, the settings that are most critical for microphone gain are volume, OP and PGA. Now, what we recommend you do is put the OP right up to 6, the absolute maximum, increase the microphone volume to about 15 and the PGA to about 25. So in our case, those settings work fine for Siri, and indeed they work okay for calls if the iPhone is not Bluetooth to the PCM. And actually we've got the microphone fitted down here on the side of the dash next to the steering wheel column, but you will find if you don't change the volume, the OP and the PGA upwards towards their maximums, the remote caller will find your voice very faint and distant if you're not if you haven't got your phone Bluetooth to the OEM PCM. That said, changing those 3 settings upwards actually significantly improves Siri pickup, especially if there's a lot of road noise. So we definitely recommend you push those settings towards their top end in the car, and obviously experiment depending on your microphone setup and install location with those settings up or down as appropriate. The microphone delay and auto echo cancellation quality, those are for cancelling the echo out. Again, you'll need to experiment in your car if you're using the kit not Bluetooth to PCM. Obviously they're of no consequence for Siri or Google Assist. So for Siri and Google Assist, you don't really need to amend these things, but as I said, if you are using your kit with the phone not Bluetooth to the PCM, then obviously experiment with moving those up and down to best suit your needs. Again, as per our previous video on phone setup, if you are using the phone not Bluetooth to the PCM, you need to be more conscious of the microphone placement. And whilst the microphone works fine in this little corner here for phone calls when these settings are turned up, you might want to consider moving it further up and closer to your face or mouth so you get a better call or voice pickup when you're on calls.